When you said, did the Aborigines have any colorful eyes? I got green eyes. The traits that people have and the reason why you have green eyes or whatever is down to the genetics and the mixing and who you're mixed with. So again, not everyone. I'm trying to find the scroll, actual fact, called 18 plus 18 plus 1 equals 37 genes of the mitochondrial DNA. There you go, the DNA and the mixtures. Okay, here we go. So it all depends on the mixture that you're mixed with, because if you see and look on this page, these are different people that have blue eyes, green eyes, blonde hair, and so forth. And these children are born to Negroid, or we say Nagarnadu parents. From page 43, verse 103. The genes responsible for a transformation to shapeshift of complexion is from inside outward and bred into this aggressive, angry, killer progeny. A progeny whose coloring would be different from the original dark-skinned, woolly-haired, typical of original hominids living in tropical Afafre Ka'a, Africa. So this is dealing with Canaan or Laban, who was white, milk, the fourth son of Ham, who was cursed with the mark of Baras or leprosy, albinism. He had 11 sons, which you can find in Genesis 10, verses 15 to 19. And his family, Kaanu, Canaanites, also known as the Phoenicians of Tyre, lived along the Mediterranean Sea, the land of Sidon or Cadmon, with the Cadmonites or Adamites, who became Kaanu by mixing in. So when you look at the traits of, and again, let me show you that picture. Some people say the master only put pictures of Nagarus in the scrolls. That's not true. The master writes about everyone on the planet and he shows pictures of everyone. So the Canaanites, carrying on to verse 105, banishment to the Caucasus Mountains began from these lands of Canaan or Canaan, one known today as Lebanon. 106, a war started between extraterrestrials and the leprous family, Kaanu, almost drowned with their city, yet 60,000 were saved, 30,000 females and 30,000 males. 107, they were put inside Tahar, earth, the underground caves or Derenkuyu, now called Cappadocia in Turkey, built by their overlords, the Anakim or the Anunnaki, the cherubim, for them to survive. With no sunlight, disease of the Canaanites grew considerably worse as they remained in bondage in those caves for 600 years. 109, when finally allowed to leave the caves, it was the Lawithanau, the Leviathan or the Leviathanites, who determined their fate. So this, you read all of this in Leviticus 13. It says the clean-spotted lepers chosen to go to the Aegean Isle or the Isle of Patmos for genetic grafting, and the extremely diseased, contagious lepers with scales, lesions, and open sores, another form of spotted, migrated to the Caucasus Mountains, living with canines as human beasts. And as you can see, and in fact there was a documentary about these people that you're talking about here, who started and they're now regressing to walking on all fours. I'm reading this to tell you about the genetics. It all comes back from what you're mixed with and why you will have certain traits. You can research this to answer your question. When you look at green eyes, that ties into the genetic alterations based on the mixtures with beings that have these traits, all right?